Our goal today is to talk a little bit about day 3. We've had Ubisoft come on the back end of day 2, and we wanted to give them some credit today, so we'll be talking about Ubisoft, and then later on today we'll get to Nintendo's brief that was telecast from E3. But of course, Ubisoft opened with a cover of Queen's Don't Stop Me Now, full of candy canes and lollipops and giraffes and all sorts of obscure things flying across the stage. And then Aisha Tyler came out as the host, and then started, there was a great quote that she started with, which was this sort of awkward, "Some of you probably didn't shower, but there's no judgment here." And there was this sort of awkward... Yeah, right? There was this really awkward silence, like, did you just insult me? Did you just stereotype me, bro?
Oh, man.
But you're a cougar, so it's okay.
So it got a bit awkward, but anyway, it kicked off pretty quickly, though, after that, and it was fun. I mean, all credit to them. They're having fun because, as you said, Binary, I think it's their 30th birthday, but we're, of course, more interested in the games that came after this fanfare, and more importantly, I think... Ghost Recon's going to be on the agenda. Ghost Recon confirmed for March 2017, looking very, very exciting. Wildlands is the title of the game. I love Ghost Recon. I remember very distinctly buying an Xbox 360 back in the day. The launch game was Ghost Recon, and the strategic coolness about team-based military strategy that they had in that game was awesome. Did you guys get a glimpse of that, Binary? You took a look at Ghost Recon?
I did, and I watched it all the way through. I'm split opinion. I think the gameplay of the game sounds absolutely amazing. Open world, team of 4 just tearing shit up, basically. Looks like, so what we watched was an extraction, right? And you had a couple of snipers, a couple of guys on the ground. Sniper takes a guy out, goes around the corner. They're coordinating quite well, and then sort of it all breaks up, and then all hell breaks loose. They all jump on vehicles, helicopters, bikes, cars, gunfire. It was just a chaotic awesomeness, wasn't it? It looked like, to me, it was on the same engine as The Division. It was exactly the same screenplay.
Really? Is it the same engine?
Say whether it was or not.
Yeah.
It didn't say, but it was just definitely the same UI mechanic. If you watch it and then watch a Division game, it definitely had the same feel in terms of how you viewed and how you interacted. I wasn't impressed with the graphics. Thought I was going to be blown away. I don't know. I've watched it a few times, and unless they sort of turned it down or didn't have it on full game rendering, I'm still so looking forward to it. I'm just gutted. I've got to wait till 2017, really.
Team-based. When I saw 4-player co-op, I thought, Goldenboi, this is yours.
Absolutely. I'm in for that. And I'm reading some stuff, and they're actually saying they're comparing it to Metal Gear Solid 5, which I think I commented earlier. That's not a really bad thing at all. If that is the case, if we're looking at a co-op, Metal Gear Solid, then, hey, that's going to be awesome. But I'm going to go back to exactly what Binary said. We're on the same engine, maybe. And if that's the case, then, okay, that's not a horrible thing either, because Division had relatively pretty good graphics. Again, we're still on the new, stuff with this genre. We had Destiny, and then we had Division, and now we... we'll have Wildlands at some point. Hopefully by the time Wildlands comes out, they're going to work out some of the kinks that Division had. And, if we could go into a game that is not full of bugs and keep us going and keeping the content rolling or likable content going, then, I have a lot of hope for this game.
Yeah, it looks like, looking at the notes, it was Snowdrop, of course. We knew that's for Division. I wasn't sure if that's also being used for Wildlands. It looks like it is, or at least a modified version of Snowdrop. So, yeah, we can probably expect to see some similar performance, and that could excite or not for others. I guess after you see something like Battlefield 1, running on DICE's engine, you kind of get, sort of gives you a bit excitement for it, and sometimes you might fall a little bit disappointed. But I think the cool thing, the counter thing we saw with Ghost Recon, they started up with that the vocal conversation that we saw. If you remember when Division was launched, but when it was announced, I think it was they had a team, four players on the stage, and they were canning the communication, like pretending that they were like fully into this realistic military lingo for their communication, and it was awkward. If you remember, it was like some guy in a couch and someone in their study, and it was really awkward. And they did that again for Ghost Recon, but it's cool.
Do you know what I think they're doing with the graphics this year? 'Cause with Division, right? When they launched on E3, they had so much graphics that they didn't put into the end game.
So much graphics.
Yeah.
Right.
Binary.
I was trying to think of my wording, but it just wasn't coming out right. But they had there's so much in like the actual graphical interface where all the different things that you could see, and I think I probably think they decided to turn that down for this year, so you're not setting expectation too early of what to expect.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see how that fares. We've got lots of drones flying around. There's a few Ubisoft games we've got now at E3 this year with drones flying around, so that's cool. They showed some work around that, and just how you could scope. So before you do your mission, before you set out on your target, you can send a drone in to just scope the lay of the land, work out your strategy, and call who's going where, who's going to do what. And because of the vehicles, the helicopter that came in, I got a bit of almost like a serious team-based Just Cause. That's what I call it. Like, because it looks like
that's exactly it.
Yeah, grand open world. Get in vehicles, do what you want. There's still a core mission, but it's a serious team-based.
I want a grappling hook now.
Yeah. Well, Titanfall. So shall we say it's the year of the drone and the grapple hook? Because it's Titanfall, Call of Duty, Ghost Recon, Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how the it's open world. Are you going to see other teams?
Yeah, right.
Oh, good question. Wow.
Can they come and almost disrupt your extraction mission? Right? That'll become a challenging environment, right?
I mean, I was under the impression not. It kind of made me think of if you guys have played like Armor, like I played Armor 3 and Armor 2 a lot back in the day, and that kind of reminds me a little bit of Armor in that you've got this world, it's a real world, there's things going on and things happening around you, but you're kind of isolated, you and your team. But if there is, like, imagine that, like you're in the middle of a mission, heading for a target, and then another group of 4 just comes over the hilltops. Just starts.
That'd be great. Or snipe over there. Just start sniping and then throw your drone out.
So that will be exciting. I think we could agree. Yeah, Ghost Recon, March 2017. I don't think we have a date for South Park, the Fractured Butthole.
What a great name. I got to cut in here, man. The way they worded that, and the first time I heard it, I kind of was... I guess I wasn't watching something, or I don't know, but I heard, and it rang in my ear, and I was like, fractured butthole. What the, how in the hell, like, how are they getting away with this one? They've gotten away with so much, and I went and I looked at it, and I was like, genius, absolutely genius.
It took me about 10 seconds, and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, I got you. Yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah.
Dear. So, excited for it. Binary, did you play the original? I didn't.
I played the original on, I think it was the N64.
Oh wow, dude, you're going back to that's the FPS.
Wow, that's the first one, man.
Remember, you could pick up snowballs and piss on them and throw the snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in snowballs, bro.
Oh, that's great. That's Dirty Bomb at its best.
That's the only one I remember playing. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to giving it a go.
Speaking of things Binary is looking forward to give a go, Steep. Steep? Is it Steep? It is Steep. It's a interesting game. I thought it was a concept at first. Like, I thought it was like a VR concept, but it sounds like this is, and from the look of it, it's actually a fully fledged game. What did you take away when you saw Steep?
Yeah, so I had actually not heard of it until I watched it. And so it's straight out of a developer in Switzerland, funnily enough, at the base of the Alps. So I wonder where they got their inspiration from. And I think it's definitely a game that's missing in the market. I'm an old snowboarding 1080 fan, SSX fan. So yeah, it's just got GoPro written all over it. I'll be interested to see flying a wingsuit, brilliant. Skiing, snowboarding, brilliant. It's got GoPro involved, so whether you can make your own videos set your own camera angles and stuff. So you feel like in game video editing mode or something. If you can co-op, if it's racing points, it looks like a lot of fun. Definitely something to play in the summer.
Wingsuits. I'd like to don a wingsuit. Have you ever used a wingsuit, Golden?
I have not, sir, but given the opportunity, I'll strap one of them things on.
Yeah, no, they look scary as shit. But just like I'm just speaking of things that look scary as shit. For Honor, there's 4 guys in this game. For Honor, 4-player. I mean, what did you call it, Brian? Golden, you were calling it was it 4-player MOBA? Did you?
So this is what I'm describing as. It is not a MOBA, but the fighting concept is based off of, and this is just me saying, it's based off of Dark Souls. You know, fighting with a sword and shield, and you know, sometimes without a shield is your best option. I saw people flipping over, you know, back. So, you know, if they can take that Dark Souls fighting concept and then make it even more technical, you know, I'm all over that. So, you know, let's put that to the side. You're also going for strategic points, and you also have ads, you know, running around. So the base is kind of like a MOBA to where, you know, you're trying to take over certain points and everything. I did not see, and I might have missed this, so correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see any level progression, like as far as like, okay, so if you're a samurai, do you level up certain skills? Do you get in certain armor? Can you make your armor lighter, heavier? You know, and if that is in there with that type of depth, then again, this could be an amazing game.
I think we're at a point where that's almost an assumption, isn't it? I mean, I don't think it specifically said it, but especially with Ubisoft, what they've been doing with Ghost Recon, we know obviously what they already do with Division, even though Division is a different beast. But yeah, 4-player MOBA. It kind of made me think of. Do you remember Dynasty Warriors?
I did. I did play a couple
Yeah.
of those games actually.
Now, in a better way, of course. I mean, Dynasty Warriors is basically just mash, 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 and the dudes will just keep coming and coming. This seems a bit more nuanced than that. You know, there's some skills there. There's different weapon types and player profiles and different types of characters you can pick. But I got that feeling like this all-out brawl, this all-out war, but it's it's melee war basically, and I don't know. It's a bit of a unique proposition. I'm not sure it's not going to be a Call of Duty game, in terms of its sale. I don't think everyone wants to be running around with melee weapons, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what they can do. It was 14th of February 2017 is release. So running around in this virtual land with 4 players is pretty cool, but also running around in I think we talked a bit about VR with Sony's conference yesterday, and Ubisoft were pretty interested in taking VR into their conference as well. They talked to Star Trek VR and Eagle Flight VR, which were kind of cool tech demos. Binary, you took a look at, I think, Eagle Flight VR more so. Did you get a good vibe from these VR demos? Is it the Sony kind of stuff we saw, or is it completely different?
I'm not sure that they're taking a different approach as more of, like an experience or like an interactive experience, because both Star Trek, even though how awesome it looks, 4-play co-op, it was just still more of like a simulator, wasn't it? And Eagle Flight was, well, I don't really know what that was. That was like flying a bird with a volleyball type game. I think Ubisoft try to play catch up by the seams of it compared to some of the other developers, but I would definitely like to play Star Trek. That looks pretty cool.
I think everyone kind of geeked out a little bit the moment they dropped that. The same thing happened with Star Wars, I think, the day before with Sony's VR conference. Did we see any hardware? Did we see what hardware they were using for the tech demos?
It was the Oculus, yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So it's something to look out for. I don't know. I don't recall they gave a date for anything in particular, but as I said, I think they were just confirming their experimentations with it. And experimenting is probably something that they were doing a lot with Watch Dogs 1 when that came out a couple of years ago. And it was unique, Watch Dogs, because it had this, this familiarity to it. It was an engine that was built on, if I recall, it was actually released on both the old gen and the new gen. It came out right at that point where it was the first new IP. And Did you guys enjoy? I mean, I think Binary, you played a bit of Watch Dogs 1. You said you got a big passion for it. Did you see things that you liked in the new one that they've announced, which is Watch Dogs 2? Is that something that, are you going to Watch Dogs 2 again?
Yeah, so Watch Dogs has got a lot of stick, and it was an original IP. And I enjoy Watch Dogs. I enjoy what I think I appreciate what they were trying to achieve with it. I work in IT, so I love the whole hacking experience. I think, being a hacker, walking around the city, interacting with people, interacting with, the environment around you on a technical basis it was a great premise, and it was just under-delivered. It was clunky, like the driving mechanics in the game were horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad, especially after playing Grand Theft Auto, which was already not great. But going to Watch Dogs,
Watch Dogs, I hope they've really taken some time, because the gameplay looked good. It still looked a little bit static, but yeah, I really hope that they've taken everything that they were hoping to do in the first one and put it into the second.
it's showy, flashy. There's certainly a different character type from before. Golden, did you get pumped when you saw all the hacking stuff you could do?
Yeah, I mean, I like Watch Dogs. I thought I'm going to agree with Binary 100%, and the concept that they came up with was really good. But not any offense to Ubisoft, but I think again we're looking at a game that came out that wasn't, I'm not going to say completely finished, but maybe not thought all the way through. The concept was amazing. I remember seeing that first trailer when that guy, he stops, he makes the red light, it changed the green light, and he causes the wreck and jumps over the car and then just, kills the target. Which was, I was like, yeah, dude, this is going to be great. But the delivery, I just didn't think was there. But again, if, Ubisoft is going to learn from their mistakes, then this should be a good game.
Yeah, I think the biggest criticisms, I mean, Watch Dogs 2, as you said, Binary, was fun. It had some great stuff to it. The hacking mechanic, the gameplay routine, the driving was pretty crap. But the fact you could sneak around most of the game and do it on your terms was incredible. But the thing I didn't like about Watch Dogs 1 was Aiden Pierce, like the character that you were. He was just this... you'd be having fun playing around hacking stuff, and then you had this drab, killing, emotional storyline just thrown upon you in these random points. And you can see actually in the characters of Watch Dogs 2, I mean, that the finish of the trailer is a slow shot of 4 characters, and you couldn't get further away from Aiden Pierce. These are like Gen Y, headphone wearing, graffiti spraying
Millennials.
Millennials, yeah. And when I saw that picture, I was like, ugh. But it actually works with the whole hacking thing. It probably makes the game more fun and less serious maybe than Watch Dogs, and maybe it's going to be its saving grace.
Yeah, well, for me, they said they were going to be hacking to me will always have a political agenda, and the only thing that's missing for me is they've said it's not going to have any type of political start, like sticking it to the man or anything like that. But I know it does have some social interaction element. You have to gain followers and influence and stuff on the World Wide Web. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. I really will. But it's it could have been an opportunity to really do some provocative thoughts into that whole hacking environment and the type of person you have to be one of to be a top hacker. And I'll be interested to see if they touch on any of that.
Did you guys ever see the show that debuted in the States called Mr. Robot?
Yes, absolutely amazing.
You guys did, right?
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
So tell me that they somewhat took some points from that, because that granted, USA is a show, a station that we really it's not very edgy. But with this series that came out, it showed a different side of, the hacking, I guess, environment and society. And, if they take some of that and put some of that edge and some of that realism into Watch Dogs, then, I think please. That would be, come on, man, right? I'm sorry for cutting in, but I think, wow, that just popped in my head. I was like, wait a minute, what about Mr. Robot? That was such a great series.
Series 2 coming out soon, baby.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see. I'm thinking that, as Binary said, they are playing. Ubi had said they're playing it safe. They've talked about that already. In terms of, I think someone asked about social commentary aspects. We might have to just leave it up to Rockstar to take care of that in the Grand Theft Auto games, because they do that really well.
Yes, they do, man. Yes, they do.
But anyway, that's certainly Watch Dogs 2. It's hacking cars, using drones, hacking cars. There was a moment where he hacked a flatbed truck, so the ramp would fall down on the truck, and then drove up on the truck and flew in the air. Anyway, exciting, but good to see. And I think the thing that I guess the reason that we talk, and the thing that really brought us all together to make these conversations, we cannot forget our good friend, The Division. Of course, we saw a confirmation of what we already knew in the Underground expansion, which is set to release on June 28 for Xbox One and Mr. BinaryNumb. Who else is getting it on June 28?
The PC. That's a claw. That's a clawback to get some PC game players back. I think that's where that's come from, right?
And they shunned us, man. Oh, PS4 we just got kicked in the nuts on that one.
I've got a lot of Golden. I've got a lot of problems. You see, I've got it on Xbox One and PC. So my problem is I don't know where to start. Where do I play it? So many choices. No, people are going to hate me for saying that. Sorry, but yeah, I just got a death mark. But yeah, it's exciting. I presume Microsoft has put some cash in the pocket. I don't know. I mean, especially with their messaging yesterday on the Xbox One PC exclusive, I wouldn't be surprised if there's been a little conversation about if they can give it to us as well.
Xbox and PC are both getting both first the expansion 1 and 2 first.
Wait, what? I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So it's only the last one that is all at the same time.
Is that survival?
Survival, yeah.
So there's no date on survival, but with Underground, so you've got June 28th for Xbox One PC, August 2nd
48
for PlayStation
days.
4. So
Oh, dude.
that sucks.
The only thing I'm excited about, underground dungeons and random encounters. So no run is the same. Yeah, completely randomly generated. RNG. Yeah. And then who the hell was the Juggernaut?
Oh, yeah. Was that a new class?
Yeah. Was that like a level 40 beast wearing all the watches?
Well, to deal with level 40 beasts, we know what the community asked for, and you've got it, because released with Underground was the Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and Splinter Cell outfits.
I'm so running around in Splinter Cell.
Something interesting to see. And the survival expansion, they did talk a little bit about that. They mentioned there was a trailer. Did you see the trailer, guys, for survival expansion? The extreme weather condition seemed to be their number one enemy.
So, like the snow, like the blinding snow that you get sometimes when you're in the dark zone and you're trying man.
The vibe I got was DayZ. I played a lot of DayZ on PC back in the day when it was beta and, well, when it was sort of alpha, actually. And it reminded me a lot of that, because in the trailer, we got a guy who's struggling in the weather. He's starving. He needs water. He sneaks into a convenience store, steals some canned food, and while he's in there, some riders sneak in the front door trying to do the same thing, and then he sees them and just runs like hell. And then that guy gets rescued by, I think, 3 other comrades. And so I presume that these are human players that have come together and, of course, helping out a man in need, in his hour of need.
And then that Juggernaut turns up and shoots them all.
Oh, that's who you were talking about, right? The Juggernaut. Yeah. Did you see the character, the model that they had for him?
Yeah. He's got those iron-plated mask, and he's just wearing Division agent watches all over.
Yes, he's got Division watches like dog tags around his neck. It is awesome.
I think that comes with a massive Dark Zone expansion, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe it's a bit. I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Evolve, right? Like the Hunter.
Oh, Evolve.
Not to that extreme, of course, but Hunter. This Juggernaut is you're on the run. You can't just shoot him down. He's not like a level 32. Flamer in the Dark Zone. This guy is going to be something serious. Maybe some game mechanics to take him down. Blah blah blah. So, yeah, exciting. Yeah, so look, exciting to see What's around the corner for us is Division fanatics. So for those that listen and have been on the DZR Discord, you can check out darkzonereport.com if you want to see more about Division, and certainly in any game community, check out the Discord when you click on the community tab. I think that wraps up most of the showcases that we saw for the Ubisoft conference. It was a show with content, there's no doubt about that. It had material, it had the Ubisoft 30th party at the beginning. It might have started off, cutesy and fun, but it quickly went into Ghost Recon and had certainly flavors of all types of games. Binary, did you walk away with anything from that?
Yeah, I did. So I've been hearing a lot about Ubisoft. There's an opinion out there that Ubisoft is now becoming the disliked developer, like the old days of EA. But I thought, actually, out of all the developers, not the platformers, that is, out of Ubisoft and EA and Bethesda, I actually quite like I thought Ubisoft did a great job. It looked like got some great games coming out. Their message was clear. It was a good show. So I am looking forward to the next 12 months worth of gaming from Ubisoft, really.
Cool. Golden, Ubisoft?
I agree with Binary. I think they did a good job, but of the three, out of Xbox, PlayStation, I'm going to say they came in third for me.
So guys, that does bring us to a close for day 2 coverage. Ubisoft, PC, Microsoft and Sony, of course, made their way on stage. But interestingly enough, on day 3, we got to see Nintendo. So we got to see what they have to offer with Zelda and whatnot in the coming day. And we will speak to you soon.